The video which we are going to discuss today is about Indian administration, and particularly the topic taken in Indian public administration is the LPG, the liberalization and then privatization and globalization. தமிழிலே தாராளமயமாக்கல், தனியார் மயமாக்குதல், உலக மயமாக்குதல் என்ற மூன்று சிறு தலைப்பின் கீழ் பார்க்க இருக்கின்றோம். So we will see before going into the lesson how the liberalization, privatization and globalization has been hatched, what is the reason behind it. These things we will see in brief and then we will go into the subject. So in 1985, Rajiv Gandhi, the then Prime Minister, hatched the idea of this liberalization, privatization, globalization, considering the economy of the India which is in bad shape. So what he wanted, that India is far behind 20 years when compared to the developed countries. So he want to develop India on par with the developed countries, which is very much in the state of high status in economy and giving employment opportunity to the people, etc. So though he had the idea of this one and wanted to improve India in such a way to go ahead with economic activities, the much thoroughfare has not been done, and subsequently the subsequent governments by Narasimha Rao and then Manmohan Gandhi have given shape to this liberalization, privatization, globalization during 1991. And then that we are going to see one by one. First we will see liberalization of economic policies. So the economy, according to the liberalization policy, it is market oriented, more market and service oriented. So the market should be much service oriented, and then market oriented, the economy should be market oriented, and then expanding the role of private and the foreign investment. So the foreign investment should be more, and it should be the role of private should be much more, and then initiated during 1991. This one, the particularly reform in BOP, balance of payment, that is when we export and import both coincide, that is say when we export to the millions of rupees and import to the equal amount of rupees, then it is called the balance of payment is zero. But when we export less and import more, the amount which we earn through export is less, and when we spend more on import, so the difference between these two is called balance of payment. Or even if it is in terms of trade, it is called balance of trade. So this balance of trade is more, we exported more, less and imported more. So that some reform should be done in this. And accordingly, something made on that aspect. And then reduction of import tariffs. The import tariffs were very much reduced. And then deregulating the market was deregulated, and then reducing taxes were reduced, and increase in foreign investment, foreign domestic investment were increased, and then Indian GDP grew from $266 billion in 1991 to 2.3 trillion in 2018 dollars. So because of this liberalization, even the GDP grew from $266 billion in 1991 to $2.3 trillion in 2018. So this is with regard to the liberalization of economy. And then next we will see the privatization. Privatization, the transfer of ownership from public to private sector. That is, during 1991, they wanted to convert most of the public sector into private sector. So the transfer of ownership from public to private, lot of public have been the ownership has been transferred to private. Then that is called new economic policy, and new industrial policy also have come during this period 1991. The public bought from holding stock in company as stocks are not traded in stock market. Public bought from holding stock because since private is given importance, public bought from holding stock in company. Private more efficiency. What they felt private is more efficiency and increase long-term jobs. Long-term jobs can be increased and promote competitive efficiency. In private, there is always competitiveness is there, and then open market economy. The economy is open market, and then the restructuring of enterprises. The enterprises are restructured, and then in private no political interference, whereas in public political interference will be there. So the growth will be much more in private if it is not interfered by politics. And raise revenue. The revenue was raised, and the revenue of profitability, the rise of profitability also raised to much extent in privatization. So these are all certain advantages of privatization. Accordingly, they did some the privatization was much more in the offing and done accordingly during this period. Certain drawbacks are also there. Then globalization. Then globalization, that is the culture, trade, economy, where there was close cohesion between countries, and then growing interdependence of the world economies, growing interdependence of the world economies, culture and population, brought about by free trade, flow of capital and tapping of cheap foreign labor. Because of this growing interdependence between one country to another country, we made the free trade, and then the flow of capital also, tapping of cheaper foreign labor in market. These are all due to globalization. And then accelerate advance on transport and communication. Because of advance in transport and communication technology, the globalization was possible, and then the interdependence was more possible because of the growing technology of communication and the transport, growing transport. Then the liberalize the economic activities, and then exchange of goods and funds. So the exchange of goods and funds were liberalized, and then a removal of trade barrier. The trade barrier was removed. The licensing and the tariff were very much reduced. So these are all certain advantage of globalization. And then 4 basic aspects of globalization, important 4 basic aspects of globalization. They are: One is called trade and transaction. Second is capital and investment movements, and migration and movement of people. Because of globalization, all over the world the people moved from India to all countries, and then trade barriers were removed, and then transportation transaction was more, and then capital and incentive investments movements were much more, then migration and movement of people. Then fourth one is dissemination of knowledge, or that is the knowledge from one country to another country disseminated. So suppose some intelligent people from India to other countries, from other countries to India, so the exchange of ideas were there, and the industry was well flourished, and then apart from that, three major areas of globalization we have to see, that is international standards. So the goods which were traded freely, that were conformed to standards, international standards. And then containerization, because since containerization was very much introduced, the time and the fast rapid transport was possible because of containerization. And then multinational companies, world enterprises, that is this is always called stateless corporation. Because of multinational companies, the employment job opportunities were highly improved, and the dissemination of knowledge was also there, and then the free flow of economy was there, and then the free flow of knowledge was there, and the standard goods were was in free flow. Some of the major multinational corporations, some major corporations to the 10 major companies, IBM, Citi Bank, and then Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nestle, IBM. These are all certain important multinational companies which took part in India's economy. So this is with regard to the globalization, and because of the globalization, the lot of employment opportunities were generated, but at the same time the incentive and other things were also given, but at the same time the Indian goods competitiveness was more there. So Indian goods were not traded freely. So these are all certain disadvantages of multinational companies. In தமிழிலே இந்திய பொது நிர்வாகத்தின் கீழ் லிபரலைசேஷன், தாராளமயமாக்கல், தனியார் மயமாக்கல், உலகமயமாக்கல் என்ற 3 தலைப்பின் கீழ் பார்க்க இருக்கின்றோம். இந்த 1985 ராஜீவ்காந்தி இந்தியா மிகவும் பொருளாதாரத்தில் மிகவும் பின்தங்கி இருக்கிறது, வளர்ந்த நாடுகளில் கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது 20 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு பின்தங்கி இருக்கிறோம் என்று அவர் பல புது கருத்துக்களை பூத்தி கம்ப்யூட்டரை மயமாக்க வேண்டும், தொழில் மயமாக்க வேண்டும் என்ற கொள்கைகள் எல்லாம் வகுக்க எத்தனித்தார். ஆனாலும் அவர் காலத்தில் சில முடியாமல் போனாலும் பிறகு வந்த நரசிம்மராவ் அரசாங்கமும், PV நரசிம்மராவ் அரசாங்கமும், பிறகு வந்த மன்மோகன் சிங் போன்றவர்களுடைய அவருடைய பெருமுயற்சியால் இந்த 3 LPG என்ற கொள்கையானது 1991 வகுக்கப்பட்டு நடைமுறைப்படுத்தப்பட்டது. அவற்றுடைய சிறப்பம்சத்தை நாம் பார்த்தோம். லிபரலைசேஷன் ஆஃப் எக்கனாமிக் பாலிசி என்பது பொருளாதாரத்தை மார்க்கெட் அண்ட் சர்வீஸ் ஓரியன்ட், மார்க்கெட் ஒரு அதாவது சந்தை மயமாக்கலும் சேவை மயமாக்குதலாக ஆக்கப்பட்டது. குறிப்பாக BOP கிரிசிஸ், பேலன்ஸ் ஆஃப் பேமெண்ட், எக்ஸ்போர்ட்டை அதிகப்படுத்தி இம்போர்ட்டை குறைக்க வேண்டும் என்ற தத்துவத்தில் அமைக்கப்பட்டது. மார்க்கெட்டை ரெகுலேஷன் செய்யாமல் விட வேண்டும் என்று தீர்மானிக்கப்பட்டது. டேக்ஸ் குறைக்கப்பட்டது. ஃபாரின் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் 316.9% அதிகமாக்கப்பட்டது. அடுத்ததாக பிரைவேட்டைசேஷன், தனியார் மயமாக்குதல். அதாவது கவர்மெண்ட்டினுடைய பப்ளிக் ஓனர்ஷிப்லேருந்து பிரைவேட் ஓனர்ஷிப்பாக நிறைய தொழிற்சாலைகள் மாற்றப்பட்டது. நியூ எக்கனாமிக் பாலிசி கொண்டு வரப்பட்டது. இதில் ஸ்டாக் மார்க்கெட் எல்லாம் பிரைவேட்டுக்கு மாற்றப்பட்டது. அதோடு அல்லாமல் அரசியல் தலையீடு இல்லாமல் இருந்தது. வருவாயை அதிகரிக்கப்பட்டது. அதே மாதிரி ப்ராஃபிட்டபிள் ஆதாயமும் லாபமும் அதிகமாக்கப்பட்டது. இதல்லாமல் குளோபலைசேஷன் என்பது உலகமயமாக்கல். இந்த உலகமயத்தில் எல்லா ட்ரேடு, கேபிட்டல், ஃப்ரீ எஃப்டி, ஃபாரின் டொமஸ்டிக் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் போன்றவை உலகமயமாக்கப்பட்டது. இதனால் பல கம்பெனிகள், உலக கம்பெனிகள் இந்தியாவிலே கேபிட்டல் இன்வெஸ்ட் செய்து எக்கனாமியை வளர்த்தது. உதாரணத்திற்கு பல 10 முக்கியமான கம்பெனிகள் சொல்லப்போனால் கோகோலா, பெப்சி, நெஸ்லே, ஐபிஎம், சிட்டி பேங்க் போன்றவைகள். இவைகளுடைய முக்கியமானது டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட் கம்யூனிகேஷனாலே அதிக அளவிலே இதனை நடைமுறைப்படுத்த முடிந்தது. அதோடு அல்லாமல் கண்டெய்னரைசேஷன் இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் செய்யப்பட்டது. நாலெட்ஜ், அறிவு எல்லாருக்கும், எல்லா நாடுகளுக்கும் பரப்பட்டது. மக்கள், அறிவு சார்ந்த மக்கள் ஒரு இடத்திலிருந்து இன்னொருத்துக்கு போவதால் நிறைய வேலைவாய்ப்புகள் உண்டாக்கப்பட்டது. ஸோ these are all certain important developments in